welcome back, Harold. How are you, my friend? Oh, I have to unmute you. There you go. Should be able to talk now, Harold.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
You're good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. So a lot to talk about. I just remember one thing from our last interview is I don't you didn't believe that at that time that Kamala was going to end up being the nominee. Was she going to uh, when did that change? And do you think she that Biden might turn over the presidency to her if we have this when we have this retaliation move from Israel?
So much going on. Where to begin? Um, Let me say at the outset, the odds are about 50-50. Everybody is dumbfounded how tight this race has become. I personally think that Harris is slipping a little.
Yes.
And so you can see Wall Street is betting it's going to be Trump. Now, so let me start with what does that mean? Everybody's trying to figure out what happens next year. And
Okay.
they start with what happens with taxes. And I think the House will go Democratic. In that case, the House Ways and Means Committee will control everything on taxes totally. Under our system, that committee can bottle up anything. So
they take the House. Do they control? Do they lose control of the Senate?
probably yes.
Okay. And who wins the election?
Probably Trump, but
You would
it's
say
going to be
Trump.
Trump. Yeah.
Okay. Because his stock, that DJT, has been going up for about a week since a shift. Do you think the administration tried to put off Israel from doing this before the election? Or are they, is a tail wagging the dog to try, especially, do you think Israel's going to attack before the election? They said they're going to. Do you think so?
I think that the Israelis are thinking something much bigger than anybody is thinking right now. And they keep saying, all right, we're not going to hit oil and we're not going to hit nuclear weapons sites, but we are going to do something dramatic.
What could that be?
Yeah, I think they're going to go after the Mullah leadership.
Okay. So how do you do that from the air?
Well, how do you do it? How do they kill off all these Hezbollah?
Yeah, that's true. So they're already doing that. Can they do that? That retaliation? They've taken out Hezbollah leaders. They've been able to take out Hamas leaders in Iran. So it's not a military operation with jets and bombs. It's covert to take down um, the Iranian regime.
Look, we don't know, but they've surprised us at every turn, beginning with
Yeah.
all the exploding
Yeah,
boxes about.
walkie-talkies and pagers and all of that stuff.
Well, so look for a big surprise, not a little surprise.
Okay.
So, but I don't think it's going to disturb one way or the other the election.
Okay.
And so now we have to start thinking about what's coming down the road. Other than that, you mentioned China. Yes, they're stirring around.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying, but the market's saying still not enough, still not enough.
Yeah, the Chinese are not able under Xi Jinping to introduce direct payments to the working classes. they gotta get consumption up, but they can't
Right.
get it up without doing that. But he's dead set against it. So they will keep tinkering it. But I don't think there is no bazooka in the Chinese system unless they do something with direct money to households. And they just maybe causing domestic internal trouble in the coming months.
Okay.
The
Because
unemployment level in China for young
well,
people is now
so
really high.
isn't that a good reason? And also these young men that can't find jobs, can't find wives. Is that a good reason to put them on the battlefield, Harold?
Whether they go to war, whether they'll fight. I'm
Okay,
not
well,
sure.
you broke up a little bit. So they're surrounding Taiwan. Are they going to? I also have read in the past that the straits, the Taiwan Straits, are it's a pretty difficult amphibious thing, except for a few months during the year. And I think
Right?
October is one of them.
Yeah. Well, our military is pretty much primed for anything they do with a devastating kind of strike. And I think the Chinese know that. So I just don't think they're not
Okay,
ready right now.
good. Okay, they're not ready. So the risks that you see are still China. Um, that they're if the Democrats take the House, that there'll be divided government. But this time, the Republicans will have the Senate. So it's a reverse of what we have now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how will that affect policy, and will that be enough in a Trump presidency to put up roadblocks
Um,
to what he wants to do?
yeah, very much to do. The House Ways and Means Committee controls trade and tariffs also. It, it, he will not have a free hand. Um, but and what's the biggest challenge next year is the fiscal deficit. It's so big and growing. And I think everybody's forgetting that what must happen is a huge amount of refinancing across the economy uh, to take care of all of the growingly priced debt that's been sitting there for some time. So we're going to have huge budget deficit, plus a huge refinancing challenge.
Sounds like a sovereign debt crisis that people have been talking about for a long time. Do you think we're already in it?
um, I know everybody wants to think the dollar is going to fail, but um, you can't stop the dollar. The whole world is slowing down. So in that
Okay,
situation, everybody's going to want to be in dollar assets. So I'm not
okay.
worried about that. But what we're going to have is a crisis of how to fund all this debt, not only
So
for the government.
rates will have to go up because of supply.
That's right. I think the lowering of maturity rates is going to go up. Everybody's expecting down. I think they'll
Yeah.
be going up. 10
Okay.
year will go to 5 at least.
5% on the 10-year,
Yeah, at least.
at least what in the next year or so. All
Yes.
right. So that's very contrarian. I mean, there's a few people thinking that, but that's interesting. 5% on the 10-year. Um, how much longer can the stock market hold up? Do you think 2025 is going to be a difficult year in the market?
Yeah, very. Maybe not the first few weeks, but yes, it's going to be a very big struggle because industrial activity is really slowing down, but slow down more. And the rest of the economy is going to suffer from very weak employment. Yeah, we have lots of people with jobs, but most of them are either government jobs or they're people with 2 or more household jobs. And but the full-time employment is dropping like a stone. So we
Okay.
have a credit crisis at the household level building. Now, watch out for one surprise. I'm pretty old. I've been watching old people deteriorate around me. Almost all my friends are either
So is this
old or dead. But what's happening? Trump is fading very fast at the moment, eventually. And already within the Republican Party, there are maneuvers going on. What happens if you can't function? And they're already talking about possibility of the 21st Amendment. He may have to be replaced early if he's elected. That's going to be
who?
a shocker, but it's something now under discussion.
Who would have to be replaced early? Trump if he gets elected?
Trump,
Yeah,
Trump.
okay. As that leaves us with J.D. Vance.
That's right. And nobody knows what he thinks about money markets, trade, finance, fiscal policy. He's an unknown.
Yeah, he wants a weaker dollar and to rebuild the industrial base here. And I wanted to bring up tariffs.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a major contributor to the depression in the 30s? Smoot Harley.
Oh, absolutely. It was almost the primary pressure downwards, yes.
So here we go again, history rhyming.
Yes, but I think industry has mixed feelings about it. But so much of industry is now tangled up with business all over the world. So they're not going to favor uh, a, a wall to keep all imports out.
Okay.
And
Couldn't China hurt us by just they're still our production base that we really haven't we've made some progress with trying to bring manufacturing back here, but it's going to be, a decade, and they could squeeze us by not delivering what they make there.
industry is adapting pretty fast. I think not only in raw materials that they provide, but in manufacturers. I think we're on the cusp of a new industrial
Revel,
revolution.
yeah.
Uh,
So you mean like the
I'm
fourth turn? This is the fourth turning, and we're going through transition period into it. Doesn't
yep,
isn't that usually a decade or so to make the
yes,
transition?
I think it will look gloomy for the next president, whoever it is. But after that, I believe we're entering a period of real prosperity. So,
Okay,
we
that's
have to
good.
go through that. So I'm not worried about that. But
Okay,
about the leadership, on the one side, is Harris capable to be president? Well, it depends on the people she has around her, but she's not knowledgeable or experienced enough. If it's Trump, but he may not be able to function. He's having real trouble getting through some of his events now. Uh, Showing signs of dementia, and I'm not saying this politically. I'm not taking sides on this outcome. Uh, but I'm trying to think who am I voting for. I keep thinking there must be somebody else.
yeah. What happens to Ukraine under this
Uh,
scenario?
Ukraine is a mess, but Putin does want a ceasefire. The question is, can somebody work one out with him where it's not just a ceasefire for a few weeks or a few months, but some kind of armistice with
like North Korea,
like
Korea.
right. And but he's ready. Since nobody is ready on the Biden's team, maybe they don't
Okay.
have anybody they can send. Now, Trump will do something about it on day one, and it will get stabilized. So I don't think it keeps going. Um, the North Koreans are joining with
Yeah.
with the
Yeah. They
Russians,
have troops. Yeah.
but there are signs that they don't like fighting, and so not they're walking away from the battlefield.
Okay. All right. So why don't we talk about, we've covered politics, covered some geo, and we've talked about China. Uh, any comment on Europe? Europe's already in recession.
Well, as you know, I've been negative about for Europe for a long, long time. I mean, I anticipated this drying up of the fundamental industry in France and Germany. I began writing about this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It will continue. There's another Europe that is actually growing rapidly, and that's the
Poland.
countries, Poland and the other countries that were part of the Soviet bloc.
Okay.
They're going to be booming. So the boom will move from France and Germany eastward. I think there's a lot of activity there, but it will take time for that to have effect on the overall euro situation.
All right. Well, what about politically, besides the UK, a pretty big swing to the right in Germany and France?
Yes, and most of the other countries are leaning right. Uh, our press in the U.S. keeps saying extreme right. I'm not sure it's extreme. It's just far more conservative than the governments in Europe of the last decade or so. So it's definitely moving towards more market economy, less regulation.
Immigration, the issue worldwide, isn't it?
Yes,
Really, the war is, we want to turn the clock back, and we don't like how demographics have changed in the last generation. So
yeah.
how do we get back there?
Well, Europe is turning inward on that. They're shutting down the borders step by step,
Yeah,
and they're going to start expelling people back out. Even
yeah.
Sweden is preparing to send some of their immigrants out. Um,
Okay.
a lot is happening that we haven't quite reckoned with yet.
Should
But
we be investing in FEMA camps?
I,
All right. I'm glad I got a little laugh out of you.
yeah, well, there's construction business there.
All right. So why don't we you know, you're still putting out a letter, Harold. I know
Um,
it,
I'm doing something a little different. I had
right.
quite
You're,
active with the Lensman, but
yeah,
for a variety of reasons, he's working with another entity, and I'm starting out. I'm going to use Substack for a while
okay.
and do some deep deep diving into how did we get to where we are over the last few years. And why is the partisanship so harsh? It's all about money and how it affects the markets. So I'm going to take a somewhat different approach in
Yeah.
analyzing where this goes, but I really think how we deal with the debt, when we deal with that, where do we, where
Yeah.
do we,
So
where do we
what
cut?
yeah, so for what Ross Perot was talking about, what was that, 30, 40 years ago?
Uh,
Um is finally going to come home to roost.
Yep.
And if Trump is elected, is he able to cut back on social welfare? Social security, Medicare, uh, and have tax cuts at the same time.
No, it won't
So
happen.
sounds like we're going to have a lame duck president, except probably on the world stage.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
what you're
right.
thinking?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Harold, it's great to talk to you and appreciate it. Let me ask you this: do you think it's possible that when Israel retaliates, which you don't think it's going to be real kinetic, you think it's going to be something different? What are they going
Uh,
to do? They're going to shut down Iran's internet or power grid, and then it happens here, and we could blame Iran.
Very hard to say that because they've surprised me with each step. Um,
Why aren't they just going to, the threat is that Netanyahu has always been, has come here and talked to Congress several times, many years before that, his biggest fear is Iran breaking out nuclear. And
yeah,
they're putting out all kinds of stories that are a week away. They've got one. They could do it. Um, why doesn't Israel just go in and do what they can do to set back the nuclear program? Because that's a threat. Or do they think they could cause a regime change because the Iranian people would embrace it? Do you think they're going to succeed with whatever they do, Harold? All right, I lost Harold. Can't hear you, buddy. But we got a lot of information. So Harold's saying Dems take back the House, Republicans may have the Senate, and right now he says it's looking like um, former President Trump.
yeah.
That's what DJT is saying. Are you there, Harold?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know
All right,
why.
I lost you. So, um, anything you want to wrap it up with? What should people be doing with their money?
Uh, um, buckle up, prepare for a period of refinancing of debt that will be really painful.
Okay,
And
more and more on the government, but also on the corporate side and junk and all debt, or
yeah,
specifically U.S. Sovereign debt.
I think U.S. sovereign debt will be okay because everybody needs
Okay,
high-grade collateral.
all right,
If
uh, okay.
find
So that includes a shadow banking system that no one talks about anymore.
yeah, we're going to have a crisis in private equity. Private
Yeah.
financing is now bigger than banking, and
Will it spread to the banks?
yeah, it will.
It
But
will.
it's going to it's going to be really painful in the private lending side, um, and the private lending side, by the way, is now spilling into ETFs. So
And people. That's interesting. So they're distributing their bad paper through ETFs right now.
yeah, but that's how we got to 2008, nine
Yeah,
crisis.
that was bad housing paper. This is bad corporate paper.
That's right. That's
Oh,
coming.
okay. All right. So should be looking at corporate debt, LQD, and how about high yield debt that has been outperforming
Yeah,
because they get a
okay.
higher yield. I
Yeah,
would think
but
it would have a higher premium
that's right.
risk.
The risk premium is going to have to go up.
So short junk and long US debt. What do you think of
Yeah,
that?
that
All right,
that's
because
that's what I'm at. Yeah,
all right, so that's really due for a reversion, especially if we have a credit crisis like you're talking about, buddy.
right. Yeah,
All right. Well, great to talk to you again, my friend.
Oh, good to talk to you. I'm sorry I had
Yeah.
a little bit of trouble with the bike, but
Yeah. Well, Pippa isn't there today to your audio.
oh,
Your
no,
your IT person isn't there
yeah,
today. Right?
yeah.
All right.
She and I are gonna do some
Oh,
broadcasting together. Um, we don't
oh,
agree on everything, so it might be interesting, but
oh, you're gonna set up a state like a little set up your own station.
yeah,
YouTube-ish. You'd be a YouTuber.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, I think it might be fun.
Yeah, father daughter, it'd be great.
And
I'll
I have
watch
a,
you, buddy.
yeah,
I'm a fan.
yeah, and I have a lot of stories to tell over the years past and how we got here.
We
So,
hear them every 3 months here and appreciate them very
all
much,
right,
Harold.
nice to
And
talk to you again. Yeah,
all right, and appreciate that our paths crossed and that I get to talk to you 4 times a year or so.
yeah,
Thanks for
it's fun.
thank yeah, thanks
I
for your
do it
time,
more.
Harold.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So follow Harold at Hale's Rethink on X and keep an eye open for what he does with Pippa. So that's going to be a wrap for me, everybody. I know the audio wasn't great, but you know, I was able to get some stuff out of there. Software, yeah, okay. So we'll work on the audio for next time. And everyone, good luck today. Good hunting. Wrap it up TGIF tomorrow. And remember, don't just count the votes on November 5th. Count your blessing, all of them. And I'll see everyone tomorrow to wrap it up. Adios, my trading warrior brothers and sisters. See you later. They're thanking you, Harold.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Nice to talk to you. Bye.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Forex Analytics. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.